Yeah, so like people think growing up is over with after 18, and they have no idea. No, bitch, I have to deal with what happened to me in the first decade of that time. And I think that's how I ended up on so many goddamn couches telling people all my business. And I'm gonna tell you like this, it really hit home when my child got diagnosed with autism. I basically had to teach my baby how to communicate. And I learned how important communication is. And not only is communication just talking, being able to talk, but it's also being able to understand, being able to comprehend. So yeah, that's the podcast. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
You stare at me and mommy in public because I'm different.
We do not care.
You're tuned in to Kitty Pink Radio, where black media matters. Keep it locked.
Hell yeah, Katie.
You can hear the crowd sing along. Everybody know my songs. Had the crowd learn to walk. Country girl, small town. 14 years dedicated. Look, ma, I finally made it. Never thought I'd ever say it, but today I live my dreams. Bodyguards protecting me. Crazy fans, loud screaming, flashing lights on every scene. Autographs, lots of pictures, signs that say we love you, kitty. Superstar, my new status, fantasizing. Please don't wake me, let me finish with this dream. Don't wake me up.
Hey! Way to go! You got it, you got it, you got it, you got it! Woo! Okay, turn around. Okay, turn around and go back that way.
He like, no.
No. Okay, do it. Stand up.
Close them all. Protest.
It's another Tuesday, another 6 p.m. and this is our last segment from This Is What Autism Looks Like. You all know that I'm an advocate for my son as well as other families who come to me and they have questions and things like that. I try to help everybody. We've spreaded awareness. This will be the last show, and I wanted to end this show on a note, bringing a dad to our platform, and he's not just any dad. Y'all could probably look at him and tell it's King's dad. This is Big LeAnder, everybody. Y'all put them blue hearts in the comments for me. First of all, if you didn't come in here without the black cats in the comments, I'm gonna be upset. So let's get those black cats, and then let's put some blue hearts. Let's go up and show King's dad some love. Welcome to Kitty Pink Radio, Dad.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am doing well. Wanted to bring you in. We've never really had this conversation.
Right.
I never really asked you. I think we got so busy with trying to attack and trying to, make sure that our son was good that we never really just sit down and talked, or I never even got to ask you. It was more so of me crying to you, telling you how I felt and things of that nature. And I get a lot of backlash over here. They say I'm a black man hater. I hate black men, but that's not the case whatsoever. I'm actually raising a black man, so that's impossible. But I definitely wanted to shed some light on the fathers out there who are, the ASD fathers out there. My first question to you would be, when I told you King had autism, how did you feel?
I guess the first reaction is how. When you don't really understand it, I think the first reaction that a person would take would be, how did this happen? Or, who did it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, especially if it's not something that you're, having your family regular, or, you're accustomed to it, or something that you're acquainted with, then you could see it coming, but it comes out of nowhere, not, 2 years and everything fine. And then all of a sudden you're telling me something else. That wouldn't be the report. So how was kind of like my first reaction. And, maybe in the midst of us not communicating as well as we should have, those 2 years, it was like kind of like all that miscommunication,
Right.
and now this on top of that,
Right.
it was like a big pill to swallow. But
Right. If a majority of me, since the whole media, y'all know the story, and we ain't got to rehash that. And I even told y'all on the post one day, I went public about all the bad stuff. I definitely wanted to go. I wanted to be a grown ass woman and go public about all the good stuff. Me and King's dad have been co-parenting for the last. We've been doing pretty good for how long? It's been a while. We've been doing good for the last couple of years. I wanted to bring King's dad here and kind of touch on this conversation because I wanted dads out there to know that it's important to have you guys it's important to have y'all by our side, even if things aren't the best. Even we had to put our differences aside for our son, because at the end of the day, he's the most important product out of this whole entire situation. And another thing I wanted to ask you, did you know anything about autism before you knew our baby had autism?
um, vaguely, I could say vaguely, just in my life experiences, what I'm saying, I have come across the subject, but when it hits home, it's a little more in depth.
It's
So you
different.
have to really, you have to learn the terminology,
Mm-hmm.
the proper terminology, because the street got one way of saying it, the church got one way of saying it,
They
the
touched.
doctor, right, the doctor got one way of saying it. Everybody got a way of saying it, and some are not so nice. So
Yeah.
um, you know. But when you learn a little more about it, then you'll know how many times you've encountered it in your life. Is what I'll say. You know what I'm saying? Like as in coming up, I did a lot as a child, a teenager. I did a lot of like community work before it was like community service thing or whatever the case
Right.
may be. But we used to go volunteer at a hospital, and we used to feed them. So I didn't know then that they
That
were autistic. It didn't even have the
right.
name of that at the time. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I did have an encounter with people that had it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And unknowingly, not even to know that down the line that what I'm saying,
You'd
it
have to
would
deal with
touch
it.
my life. Right? Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Um. Back in your day, I ain't trying to put no age on you. The beard kind of tells the story, but
Not these days. Don't try. Don't try.
but back in your day, the diagnosis was retardation.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And they have no problem saying it, and it was all under one scope, you know. So
There was no spectrum. Oh, they're on this
exactly, like
end,
I
or
said, you had to learn the terminology. I had to learn the
right.
terminology, so I had to, look up spectrums. Excuse me, triggers, like different things. What triggers it? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I'm really happy we're having this conversation. Matter of fact, not just for the sake of the show, but I didn't know how you felt, and I kind of felt like at the time you were nonchalant. You were like, "My boy gonna be all right." That was like your attitude, like, "Not he come from me, he gonna be good." And all I could think to myself is, "It don't look like that, Paul." I was so
right,
frustrated
I get it.
because
But
I
you got
think you were just trying to be strong for me, but it just, like I said, we never had this conversation. I never asked you, how did you feel? How did it affect you? Did it bother you? None of
Yeah,
that.
well, obviously, it does in certain areas. You know what I mean? But I'm an optimistic dude, and I'm not real techno savvy, but I do believe in technology. So I believe with all the advancements they have, you know what I'm saying, and then I mix my faith with it, you know,
Right,
because I honestly believe that um, people on that spectrum, they hear and see a little different than we do. It might be
right,
hired, but because we don't understand it, we think that it's something strange, and they might be the ones that could solve a bunch of problems. So once we
right,
find out what they saying,
right.
you know,
So, um, did you think I was exaggerating before you started going to the IEP meetings with me?
um, Yes and no. I know how
You
adamant
can
you.
be honest, baby daddy.
That was as honest as I could be. Yes or no. You gotta let me explain. You know, if you saying it's like how we just talking, then they just gonna see how we talk. I mean, this is not scripted. You gotta. I
At
hope you know
all.
that at all. No prep questions, no nothing. She just threw me on the into the fish.
I just threw him in front of the camera.
Yeah, but yes and no because I know how adamant you are about our child. So I know how adamant you are. You've gotten with me about them. So if that's what I get, I know. I've been on the phone and seen, heard. Hold on, let me get back to you, and then come back to me like nothing happened. I'm on the other end with my mouth dropped. So I know, and you know. But I kind of felt it was time. Sometimes people react different to the mom's voice than to the dad's voice. Or just think a dad don't care, and you know. But once you put them into the equation, it kind of like the approach and everything becomes different. So um, that's kind of like why I stepped in just to see. I'm always on your side, so it don't matter. But at the same time, I want to hear what they got to say because you might be a
Right.
little blind rage to see it.
Look at you, man.
And
But I wanted to add that in here because they did when King's dad started. And I want to tell this to all the ladies. I know that situations are different, and it's probably Kitty, you just don't understand. And look, me and this man, we drag out, knock out, and we're friends now. Put your differences aside for the children because they do treat you differently when you have the dad there with you, ladies. I promise you they treat you differently when the dad is in the room. There have been times where I felt like I was being attacked and all type of stuff, but then when he stepped in the room, Mr. Lloyd, yeah, Miss Henderson, and they go to getting our names all right and everything. Like, so I feel like it's very important. I wanted to bring King's dad here so that y'all can see. Like I said, it was a rough patch in the beginning, but as y'all see, it's real good right now. And I want y'all to understand, like, you absolutely have to put your differences aside because if you have a child that's on the spectrum, that child needs the presence of mama and daddy. They need both of y'all working together. And in us working together, our child has made great progress. Matter of fact, I didn't even get to tell you he had this speech therapist over here. Oh my God.
hmm,
The boy was flirting with the speech therapist. She's pretty. She's very beautiful. I think all King's therapists come in here and they be pretty and stuff. He's definitely a ladies' man. Kayla's not gonna feel too good. Yeah, yeah. Kayla is not gonna feel too good about this situation because she's gonna be feeling like he's cheated on her. But she came in, she got down to business. She did not let him punk her. He tried very hard. She did not let him punk her. He did not scare her. Most people after the first 30 minutes, they ready to get up out of here, especially if it's a tough time with him. But they only had like maybe 2 or 3 disturbances. But King did really well with her. So I wanted to tell you that. I didn't get to tell you that part. But back to what we were talking about. It's important for the parents to work side by side because they treat you differently when both of you are concerned. When it's just one of us that's showing concern, they just kind of like brush it off their shoulder. It is what it is. But when both of y'all come up in there, everybody go to trying to get their paperwork right. Everybody go to try to get their stories correct. They may even try to blame it on mama because daddy in there.
somebody going under the bus. I mean, somebody going under. But you know, um, it's different when you go in there and we going in there together, so it don't even matter. What they're saying. It's not a them and a you. We going in there as us, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So, um,
Has this situation frustrated you? Because you always have a poker face. I never know.
then yeah, real frustrated now. But I mean, it has its moments. Again, it's all on how you deal with it, and then you can't always, they say never let them see you sweat or whatever you want to call it. Um, and then just always knowing things gonna work out. Some gonna work out good, some gonna work out bad. You know what I'm saying? But they'll work out. Little time and just learning how to handle and deal with it. That's kind of what this all was. It took a little time and just learning actually how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? With everybody involved.
Right. Right. So, um, when you think about our son's future, like what pops up in your mind, just randomly?
See, that it's a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Run through
Well,
my
what's the very
mind.
first?
Um, I would say concern. You
I was
know,
gonna ask you that. Yeah.
I would say concern, because this is a cruel world we in. And it's a cruel world for people not on the spectrum. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's hard for people that that's even doing good. It could get hard in an instant. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And because the world is so hard and cruel, you know what I'm saying? It tends to fall back on people. You know what I mean? People
Right.
become hard and cruel to people. You know what I'm saying? Um, so my concern would be, well, he's a big boy. You know what I'm saying?
And he fight.
He can't, right, and he puts paws. He puts
We were
hands.
not supposed to show this part. We are not laughing about this, y'all.
I didn't laugh. I'm just stating. I'm not even gonna go into details, and I don't condone it. But at the same time, in case it ever come in handy in life experience in this hard, cold world, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm concerned. So I'm concerned about that because just knowing he could put hands on somebody that might not be ready for him to put hands on him. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then it could be him being
Right.
the aggressor. So my concern goes both ways. Not only for him, being and you got bully situation out of control and kids it's on kids these days, 9 and 10-year-old kids. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Being bullied and they don't have any kind of impediments.
Right.
So it's like when it comes to that particular question, I'm on a whole spectrum from fear, hope. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I got a whole spectrum of like emotions. You know what I'm saying? Aspirations. So I'm only gonna believe for the best for him, man. I and great things.
Right.
Like
Right.
to break a record, even in that, even if
Yeah.
it's on the bouncy ball that he was hopping on another show. I'm right there.
He like his mama. He like, look, I'm tired. I done bounced all the way over here to y'all. I'm tired. I'm finna go now.
Right, right.
But what advice would you give another dad,
Um,
another ASD dad?
yeah. Well, if you involved, I commend you. If you've been involved from the beginning, then that's good. And you definitely needed to talk to folks that might have been like me that wasn't involved or didn't understand it. If you just getting in or just um learning or just don't know how to deal with it, do your research and find out something and just be there for that. Show that means more than anything. Because even
Right.
with the child, when they hear your voice, they know who you are and that bond. So sometimes you could help regulate a situation. Like
Mm-hmm.
do your part the best way you can. And try to
Right.
learn it. It's still a part of you.
Right. Okay. So, out of all the things that you have learned with us dealing with our son, what would you tell? What would you want the world to be most aware about autism?
Um, that is real. You can't just blink it away. It's definitely something that has to be confronted. You know what I'm saying? It's something where you have to, if you're not a person that's used to asking for help, you have to ask for help, the help that's available from the people that know, study it. They get paid to do this. That, it's their passion. It's your situation, but there's somebody that is their passion for whatever reason, and they know a little bit more. They're experts or whatever. So you have to go to them and find out, and then you have to make sure that those that you entrust their care to is doing what's required. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just be nonchalant because you don't understand it, or you don't want to be associated with it, or you're embarrassed by it. You have to go even harder to
Right.
make sure that those that you're entrusting your child's care to, or your loved one, because autism is not just a child thing, but
Right.
they will have to be a child in order to grow up to be one. And then there's different levels. Just like it came on instantly, it can change instantly. There's some
Right.
people that are autistic that are fully functional and a whole resonance. So, like I said, it's come a long way from when I was, made introduced to it, or experienced it coming up. It had a
Right.
whole nother name. They dealt with it a whole nother way. So as time goes on, I just really hope for the best, and just be involved. The more you know, the better you could deal with it.
Oh, that's the best advice that you could give a father is just to take part. Don't let it scare you. Um, and just show up to them IEP meetings, y'all, because they treat, especially as Black women, they treat us differently inside that boardroom. A lot of people don't get past those doors, so they don't know what goes on behind those doors. But they treat us differently. And I noticed that when I called King's dad, and I'm like, yo, you gonna have to come up in here with me. These people tripping. And I noticed like them folks even started lying low key when Mr. Lloyd is added to the equation. There was some lying, and oh, Miss Henderson don't get him here early enough, and blase blase blase. They treat you differently. I can't express that enough. So ladies, if you out there and you hate your baby daddy, you just don't want nothing to do with him, man, turn that stuff around, like for real. Think about the baby first, and because that's what I had to do. I had to think about King first. The next question is basically, you said something earlier, and that's why this question even popped up. Do you think that King could possibly be following in your steps to become a reverend? Because you said something about you think he sees things on a whole nother level than we do, and he
Well,
touches
yeah,
my head and pray for me.
I wasn't tagging anything like that in, but I'm not ruling that out either. When I say see things, um, when you're an artist, you see things before you put it on the canvas, or
Mm-hmm.
you hear or see things before you put it down on a track, right? You see the
Right.
song in your mind before you put it down on the track. You know what I mean? Math, you got numbers and stuff like that have to click. Yeah,
Right.
some people count numbers. The way they go to the air and be, finger drawing the numbers.
Right.
You know, that's how we do it for people that understand and can communicate with each other. So
Right.
what is it that a person that may not be his thing, that might not be my son's thing with the fingers, you know what I'm saying? But he got something, whether it's in his constant rock, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like something is, what I'm saying, is going on. They seeing something, they hearing something is clicking, something has got them so intrigued that the rest of the world is blocked out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it might, who knows what that is, you know what I'm saying? So when I say that, yeah, well, I'll say I'm hoping that it might be he's seeing some kind of.
You want him to be a preacher?
Oh man, I mean, if you're gonna turn autism on his head, why not do it for a platform? You know what I mean? Where
Right.
because these days the church needs that kind of boost. They need to see maybe that kind of miracle, kind of snap them back into place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Doctors, everybody needs to be shaken up a little bit. The doctors that for so long said there was no hope. That would be the thing. He might be able
Right.
to tell them what they've been doing wrong all this time, not just
Right.
anybody's child. So
Right.
just leave it open to that.
Right.
One thing I can say definitely gives a father. You definitely have to learn how to embrace hope. You have to always learn how to have that hope for the best. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Hope for the best treatment for them. Like from just society, from you know, you know what I'm saying, and just, you know,
Right. From here to there, because we
yeah,
just, even now we're trusting these people at the school. We don't know what our baby going through up there. Like what's
we don't, and we can only, you know, how we can interpret him. You know what I mean? Is the only way we could try to interpret why that would happen. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Or what brings it out. Just like they, you know, they may not be telling you the whole thing all the
Right.
time. You know what I mean? So
I wish somebody could call in and tell this man how his baby be talking up a storm, because he get on the phone with his daddy, y'all, and he act like he don't a guy got goo. He
I
be on
got I
some
gotta cut. See, I gotta get him on the voicemails. On the voicemails, he be rambling on. So a couple of the voicemails, I hear him in the background back talking. So maybe my voice throws him off. When he hear my voice, he can pull out the act. But I catch him on the side every now and then. I get a sentence, you know.
he has his own page. I'm everybody, make sure you following my baby. Walk with King every day, 24, 365. It's not just this month that our household experiences autism. It's all day, every day. And we like to share that with y'all. I know sometimes some of the videos are disturbing, but when I made my vow to you guys, I told y'all I was gonna show y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was going to be transparent about this situation as possible. I'm so happy to have had his dad come today. Y'all are witnessing us having this conversation for the first time, because in my mind, I just always thought, Paul is just so calm about this. He don't be panicking or nothing, but it just feels good to know that, not in a bad way, but you know what I'm saying, just feels good to know that I'm not, feeling the way that I'm feeling by myself. Any last words?
Nope. I was glad to be a part of your show, you know, and what you do. So not
I felt like you deserve the public acknowledgement. You are doing wonderful. Thank you for stepping in. I appreciate you.
yeah. Again, like you said, you know, it's for King. So
Right.
and King and other kids like King, you know, because just
Our
what
story touches people globally.
right.
For real, for real. Our particular story, because like we wasn't expecting it. Hell, we wasn't expecting to have a baby. But like, nor were we definitely weren't. This was just like a blind side. Like, oh yeah, your beautiful little boy, he has autism. And
Right.
so it was a blind side, and we worked our way through it. And I'm honestly, I cannot complain about how things are going right now. We came together for one person, one little person. And it's amazing that not only can he bring us two together, but he brings the world together. I want to thank you all, everybody who has supported us, who has bought my baby's bracelets and the ribbons. One of the people said the ribbons was so cute, and I'm just like, y'all for real? Because everybody was like, well, we want him to make our ribbons. We don't want you to make our ribbons. So y'all done had all type of ribbons. Y'all ribbons a bit short on one side.
Kid ribbons, right. Yeah, you got what you asked for now.
But I definitely want to thank everybody that supports us. I want to give a big shout out to all the fathers out there. You are needed. We love you and thank you so much. Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of Locked and Loaded. This is the ending of our series about autism awareness, Autism Speaks. I want y'all to be aware not only in the month of April every year, but all year long. Once again, it's your Auntie Kitty. I love you. I want you to love yourselves. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye bye.
Burst. Come on. Baby. I want to be back in the burst. Come on. Go back to burst.
Yeah, jump
Okay. I'm finna practice spelling our name. K. Wait a minute. Give me that. This is how we spell King. K. Shoot. Oh, Lord. I. Name for me, please. Good job. One more time for me, please. Can you do it one more time for me? One more time for me. No. Give me here. Okay. Spell your name for me, please. One more time, please. King. Spell your name for me. Spell your name for me. Spell your name for me. Spell your name. Spell your name for me. Okay, King. Can you show me where the addition sign goes? Good job. Can you show me where the subtraction sign goes? Good job, buddy. Good job. Okay. Fix the puzzle for me, please. 1. 2. Where's the 2? 2. This is what autism looks like. Now, King has fixed everything in order like he would like to. And if you look very closely, he did a lot of detail in here. To most, those of you out there who are looking at this, viewing this, should probably think this is cute. And it is. However, my reality is I have to pick my battles carefully. If I clean this up, because of course y'all know we can't leave this like this, but if I clean this up, I am at risk of him going the fuck off. Yeah. This is what autism looks like. Here's a walk with King.